the green light and they can do whatever they want. Where that is very rare to get drafted and be able to control the whole system.
Right. Was CeCe making decisions like?
Yeah.
With it? Yeah.
As she should.
No way.
As she should, but I also think that like...
What if I told you that the biggest obstacle to Caitlin Clark's rookie season wasn't opposing defenses, wasn't the physicality of the WNBA, and wasn't even the pressure of being the #1 pick?
So this is what Caitlin Clark said, and I shared this before. This is what Caitlin Clark said when joining Ike.
That's the reason why I came here, and that's what she preached to me in the recruiting process. You know, you're going to have the ball in your hands a lot. And I think a lot of my final schools kind of had that same look, but I think the read and react offense that we run was super important for myself. You know, you're making basketball reads. It's not a set. You're not being told what to do every single time you come down the floor. You're just playing the game you love. You're flowing freely. You're playing off your teammates, and that was super, super important for myself. And I think also the past success of what they've done, like it was proven that it was very successful. They're proven that they're a great offensive team. So that really...
It was her own coach. Sophie Cunningham just pulled back the curtain on one of the most explosive power struggles in recent WNBA history. And what she revealed should terrify every Indiana Fever fan.
How that they have... It is interesting to see how they've grown to be teammates because both of them need the ball in their hands.
Okay, yes, they both need the ball in their hands, but the difference is Kelsey Mitchell don't pass the ball once it's in her hands. Caitlin Clark does pass the ball. Caitlin Clark led the league in assists. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? I get it. Sophie is trying to make everybody, she's trying to give this story while making everyone look good as well.
This isn't about a rookie learning the ropes. This is about a generational talent being forced to dismantle her coach's system piece by piece, just to play the game that made her a superstar. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Caitlin's injury might not have been the only reason Indiana fell short, and why this story could define the next decade of the WNBA. Let's dive in. Before we talk about what went wrong in Indiana, we need to understand what Caitlin Clark actually wanted. Listen to these words carefully. This is Caitlin explaining why she chose Iowa. You're going to have the ball in your hands a lot. Read and react offense. You're not being told what to do every single time. You're just playing the game you love, flowing freely. That's her blueprint. Freedom, creativity, the ball in her hands. A system where she makes reads, not where she follows scripts. This is the style that made her a college legend. The 40-foot bombs, the no-look passes, the ability to break defenses with pure chaos and basketball IQ. Now remember those words, because here's where everything goes sideways. Stephanie White arrives in Indiana with a very specific system. The Connecticut half-court offense. Structured, controlled, methodical, built around deliberate scoring, not breakneck pace. And here's the kicker. Stephanie knew Caitlin's style before she took the job. She watched the tape, she saw the numbers. 19 points and 8 assists at Iowa. Yet she installed her system anyway. Think about that for a second. You draft a player whose entire identity is built on freedom and pace, and you immediately cage her in the exact opposite system. It's like drafting a Ferrari and then deciding you're only going to drive it in school zones. Now, Sophie Cunningham tries to smooth this over. She says both Caitlin and Kelsey Mitchell need the ball in their hands, like they're interchangeable pieces. But let's look at the actual numbers. Kelsey Mitchell, 2.1 assists per game. Caitlin Clark, 8.4 assists per game, leading the entire league. These aren't two players who both need the ball. This is one pure scorer and one offensive engine. One finisher and one creator. But here's where Stephanie White's system reveals its true colors. She rotated ball handling duties. She ran Caitlin off screens like a shooting guard. And this is the most damning part. She played Caitlin at small forward for entire games. Not possessions, not quarters, entire games. Imagine benching Steph Curry's ball handling to make him a spot-up shooter. That's essentially what happened here. And the double standard? Stephanie never called Kelsey Mitchell's isolation scoring hero ball. She never benched Kelsey for taking contested shots. But when Caitlin launched those 38-foot daggers that demoralized opponents, that got criticized publicly. The logo threes, not within the offense. The full-court passes that created easy layups? Too risky. Every weapon in Caitlin's arsenal got labeled a problem instead of a solution. Now we get to the moment everyone whispered about, but nobody could prove until now. The Atlanta game. There's footage of Caitlin absolutely erupting at Stephanie White.
I think this is when they played Atlanta. Look, watch this. So this is Caitlin frustrated. Caitlin is very frustrated. Now, in this same sequence of this clip, you can see Caitlin. Let me pause this. So that is Caitlin yelling at Stephanie. That is Caitlin yelling at Stephanie.
Not a strategic discussion. Not a friendly coaching moment. Pure frustration. Watch her body language. The jaw clench. The way she turns away mid-conversation. Sources close to the team confirmed this was Caitlin reaching her breaking point after being forced to play off-ball for stretches where she touched the basketball just twice in 4 minutes. 4 minutes, 2 touches. For the player who sold out every arena and doubled the franchise's value. And Stephanie's response? She didn't adjust. She doubled down. Let that sink in.
When she got in with Kelsey.
Now, before she gets into the Kelsey Mitchell part, Stephanie White, you knew you were coming to the Indiana Fever. You should already know the system Caitlin wants to play. Why did she have to make changes to your system to play her game? And we also know that this did not go over so smoothly because we saw Stephanie White taking shots at her on TV. We saw the back and forth argument when Caitlin Clark was going off on her in the tunnel during the Atlanta Dream game when they were going into the tunnel for halftime. We saw
the #1 draft pick had to fight her own coach just to play basketball the way she knows how. This wasn't collaboration. This wasn't building a system together like every championship team does. This was a war of philosophies, and one side had to surrender. But here's the question nobody's asking. Why did Stephanie resist so hard? She watched Caitlin dominate college basketball with a specific style. She saw the results, yet she installed a system that neutered every single strength. The answer might be in the pattern.
Her up, didn't make it. Damn near came close, but you didn't come close enough. Ain't that what happened in Connecticut with this same damn offense she was running? Wait. That was the same thing that happened. They damn near got there, but they didn't get there all.
Let's talk about Connecticut. Under Stephanie White's system, the Sun became runner-up. They got close, 1 game away, but they couldn't get over the finish line. Now look at Indiana's playoff run. Exact same outcome. Runner-up, 1 game away. The pattern isn't coincidence, it's proof. Stephanie's half-court offense gets teams close, but never over the finish line. It's predictable in crunch time, it's too slow against elite defenses, and most critically, it wastes generational talent by making them fit the system instead of building the system around them. Connecticut couldn't win a championship with it. Indiana couldn't either. But here's what makes this story absolutely explosive.
Let me see.
Because those types of athletes, they get to come into an organization, they have the green light, and they can do whatever they want. Where that is very rare to get drafted and be able to control the whole system.
Right. Was CC making decisions like
Yeah.
with it? Yeah.
As she
No
should.
way.
As she should, but I also think that
Oh,
go
oh,
ahead.
that's crazy. I didn't realize that. She's just young. I just didn't think that.
But when you have a generational
thing.
talent like that, she should have a lot to say of.
Clark, it's the system. Mike said Sophie Cunningham confirms that many of us knew this. Caitlin Clark has a lot to say. will have a lot to say over the offensive system. Anyone that knows ball knows something changed after halftime of their Atlanta game, and it stayed to the down.
Sophie Cunningham confirms that something changed after halftime of that Atlanta game, and it stayed through the Dallas game. Translation: Caitlin stopped asking permission. She seized control of possessions. She waved off plays. She ran her offense regardless of what the clipboard said. And you know what happened? The Fever went on their best stretch of basketball all season. Caitlin's usage rate spiked. Her assists jumped. The pace accelerated. Suddenly, Indiana looked unstoppable. Until injuries derailed everything. Here's the timeline nobody's putting together. Caitlin forces system changes after the Atlanta explosion. The Fever surge. They make the playoffs. They battle through rounds, looking more dangerous each game. Then Caitlin gets injured. She doesn't return for the finals. Indiana runs Stephanie's Connecticut system without modification. They lose. Runner-up again.
With her, not bring your Connecticut system, have her playing small forward for a handful of games, and now she gotta change the system and enforce her power. Come on now, you gotta read between the lines on some things. Here.
Mitchell, like those two, it is very interesting to see how that they have. It is interesting to see how they've grown to be teammates because both of them need the ball in their hands.
Now ask yourself this uncomfortable question. Was Caitlin's absence the only reason they fell short? Or did the system revert back to its natural state? Good enough to compete, not good enough to win? Because here's the truth that the front office needs to hear. Stephanie got the championship run she wanted. Caitlin-less basketball. Her system executed her way, and it delivered the exact same result it delivered in Connecticut. Second place. You know how elite teams build championships? They construct systems around their superstars' gifts. LeBron's teams are built around his drive and kick game. Steph Curry's Warriors are built around his gravity and movement. Luka Doncic's Mavericks are built around his pick-and-roll mastery. You don't draft a transcendent player and force them into your old system.
Unity, and when they both can elevate each other, that team is unstoppable. You get what I'm saying?
I agree. When Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are both playing like at a high level, and I do feel like they have good chemistry. Like we saw it second half of the season, even at points this season. Like I don't think there was ever a Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark thing.
You build a new system that amplifies their gifts. Stephanie White did the opposite. Sophie Cunningham's revelation confirms what many suspected but couldn't prove. This was never about Caitlin Clark adjusting to professional basketball. This was never about player chemistry between Caitlin and Kelsey. This was about a coach who brought the wrong playbook to the wrong team and refused to adapt until her star player forced her hand. The Indiana Fever front office now has a critical decision to make. Do they build around Caitlin's read and react chaos, the style that made her a generational talent? Or do they stick with Stephanie's structured approach that's now failed twice to win a title? The league is watching. The fans are demanding answers. And Caitlin? She's already shown she'll fight for her system if she has to. Here's my take. You don't waste generational talent trying to fit them into a system that's proven it can't win championships. You adapt, or you get left behind. The question is, will Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever learn that lesson before it's too late? What do you think? Does Stephanie need to completely overhaul her system? Should Caitlin have even more control? Or am I missing something here? Drop your take in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you want more deep dives into the stories the mainstream media won't touch. And turn on notifications because this situation is far from over. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.